And welcome to the Davenport Coaches Show, live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Got the biggest game in Davenport football program history coming up this Saturday, but we can't talk about that until we talk about last Saturday. What an incredible finish at the Farmers Insurance Athletic Complex last Saturday. Davenport was down to Saginaw Valley 21-16. Davenport had the ball on their own 8-yard line with just a minute 39 left. That's right. Davenport had to go 92 yards in 99 seconds. Quite a challenge. And here's what happened. Standing at his own 2-yard line. Takes the snap. In the pocket. Looking. He fires a quick out pattern. It is caught at the 15, then run out of bounds quickly. Myron Harris in that backfield. I wouldn't mind a little swing pass to Myron here. 4th down. Here comes the blitz. Whitaker to pass. He throws it over the middle. It is caught for the first down at the 35-yard line. Preston Smith gets it out there. 1st and 10, DU. Now they'll start winding the clock with 1:04 to go. 1st and 15. Back to pass Whitaker in the pocket. He'll throw it over the middle. It is caught for the first down. 45 and brought down right there. Snap to Whitaker in the pocket, looking. He fires it towards the sideline. Meach has got it. He falls forward for another first down. Whitaker takes the snap in the pocket. He steps up. He's looking. He fires it over the right side. It is caught for the first down at the 15 and down to the 10-yard line. They'll brought him down right there at the 10. The clock is at 27. Davenport down 21-16. 4th and goal from the 10. Back to pass Whitaker. He's stepping up. He's looking. He's run to the 5, to the 1. Touchdown, Davenport! Touchdown, Davenport! Jason Whitaker ran it in, and the Panthers have the lead with 11 seconds to go. Jason Whitaker with the biggest play in his Panther career at DU. And what an incredible finish for the Davenport win Saturday against Saginaw Valley, improving to 4-0 in league play, 8-0 over 1. Hi, everyone. I'm Rick Berkey alongside with the head coach, Sparky McEwen. We're going to talk about Saturday's game, last Saturday's game, this Saturday's incredible, monumental game at home against Ferris State coming up a little bit. We've also got a lot of special guests joining us. Shonda Sanders, the head women's basketball coach, is going to join us. We're going to talk about the women's basketball program. They've already had one exhibition game. They've got another one coming up tomorrow night. We'll talk about their season coming up. We've got some special guests from the football team. Quarterback Jason Whitaker, one of the architects of that incredible drive to win that pull at the end. And Chris Thompson, who's been brilliant in the defensive backfield for Davenport all season long. He will join us to talk about his role on the defensive side. We'll also have Coach talk about the Ferris State game in our final segment coming up. But first of all, first thing, let's go back to that incredible drive. I mean, you were down 21-9 midway through the 4th quarter. Things looked bleak for the Mudville 9 that day, as they say in baseball terms. Your guys sucked it up on both ends.
All year we've been finding ways to get it done. And, to sit here and tell you that, they're not used to being in that position. They've done it for the last couple of years. And, once again, your hats have to go off to, this football team, this football culture. These young people know how to win football games. They know how to win big football games. And we haven't been around a long time, man, but we're establishing a nice piece of history right now. And I was talking to the coaches the other day, and you tell me, what do you think was more important, the game versus Saginaw the year before, where we took the ball practically 9 minutes of the last quarter and we drove it and we could have scored. Everyone says we won by 1. No, that was what it said on the scoreboard, but we took a knee on the 1. Okay, I like that effort there because we took it 9 yards and we gave it to them slow and we took a knee. Speed it up to this year. We get the ball on the 8-yard line and we had to go 92
in 99 seconds.
And so we're learning to win football games in different ways is my point, okay? And going into that game, we knew that the Cardinals was going to be as tough as it comes, okay? We knew that they were going to go in with, the thought process of, potentially eliminating us for postseason, opportunity. So hats off to our guys. They made plays when they needed to. And I couldn't be more proud of them.
You talk about that culture. It's a stat I'm going to bring up again. It's not a stat that's kept, but over the last 2 years, the Davenport football program has had 6 games decided in the very last minute, many in the very few last remaining seconds and your program is 6-0. You've won all 6 of those games, decided in the last minute of the game.
I think it comes down to the people that's in that locker room, you know, and these guys understanding that, you know, the importance of, you know, finishing on the positive side of that scoreboard. And, you know, they know you can't win them all, but, you know, one of the things that we preach there is effort. And as long as there's time on the clock, you know, you have an opportunity, you have a chance, you know, to be better than the opponent. And I love the way in the direction that we're headed with this thing. And we still have a lot of work to do, okay? We have a lot of work to do, and our guys understand that. And but in the process, we're going to have some fun while we're doing it, and we're excited about, you know, the future. And we just get another opportunity to play another Saturday.
Back to that drive, everyone's going to talk about, and they are talking about that incredible run by Jason Whitaker. We'll have him later in the show to talk about it. But let's not forget that 4th and 8 play very early on in that drive. If that play doesn't happen to Preston Smith, the whole drive doesn't happen.
Yeah, but at the same time, it happened. You know, the bottom line is you allow X amount of downs to execute the play, and so we don't put the importance on one play over another. And our guys know that if you get X amount of downs, that's how many downs you get to execute. And you know what? It just so happens that we're using all of them, but that's what you're allowed.
Big plays, catches throughout the day by Demetrius Garrett. Big game for him on offense for you.
It's good to shake him loose. You know, he's one of the playmakers on this football team. And, you know, our receiving core, man, we put, you know, myself and Coach Hill, we challenge these guys, you know, to step their game up because we haven't been, you know, great, you know, as much as we would like to be. And they did. They stepped up. And that drive, I think we completed, you know, to 5 different receivers in that drive alone. And then obviously, you know, our captain, our signal caller, he was able to, you know, the final play of the game, able to get it in there.
I got to ask you honestly, when Jason took off running on that 4th and goal, it was going to be your last shot to get in the end zone, your first instinct when he took off running, because that's a long way to go from 10 yards out on 4th on the final play.
You know, 6'4 and a half, 230. You know, I had one of the guys that I actually played a part in coaching a kid like that up at Ferris State University named Jason Vanderlaan, you know, and this kid's built that same way. You know, he'll tell you when he gets up here, we have a rule. When we decide to run, we run. And when we get it going, we want it going downhill. 6'4", 230. You know, that's a lot of man coming downhill, you know, from a full head of steam. And he executed things, you know, perfectly for him. And it was a good job. And I'm just glad that we got receivers and other skill positions, you know, that command extra attention. And it gave him an opportunity to make it happen and make a play.
And let's not forget, of course, if the defense doesn't get those stops, and Chris Thompson, we're going to have early, had an interception, had a fumble recovery. If they don't get those stops, you don't get a chance to pull it off on offense.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You know, and one of the things that we talk about going back to my professional days in the AFL, I always talk about half stops. You know, I tell guys, hold them to a field goal, you know. You know, for 13 years, man, you know, I got used to some high-scoring games, but I also got used to just saying, hey, hold them to a half a stop. And they do a great job. That defense is playing well all year. They're bend but don't break style. We have some playmakers in the secondary, and that's one of the things that we needed to do is find some playmakers to replace some of the good football players we had last year. We thought the year before we had good football players back there, but we didn't have enough playmakers. And now all of a sudden you look up, these young people, you know, they're making plays on the ball. When the ball goes up in the air, you know, we got just as good a chance of catching it as the other team.
All right, Coach, why don't you go grab some good food here from Uccello's in Caledonia. We will take a break. We'll come back, switch gears, talk women's basketball. Coach Shonda Sanders will join us. We'll stay with us here on the Davenport Coaches Show live from Uccello's in Caledonia. There you go. Okay. And we continue the Davenport Coaches Show live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Switching gears over to women's basketball. Coach Shonda Sanders joins us here, second year heading up the program. And, Coach, you made some steps last year. Maybe not as many as you wanted, but you made some progress. 7-21. And I want to see your assessment, first of all, hear your assessment of your season last year.
I thought last year was good for us. I think it gave confidence to our players that's returning. I know our senior class with Kenna, Brian, and Mary Lydell. Last year, I guess we're not happy for it wasn't like a victory season, but for them it was a good confidence going this year because they won more games in 1 year than they have in 3 years that they was here. So I definitely think it was a confidence booster for our players, and also that we competed in every game. We wasn't just a team. Teams was used to come to like, oh, when we go to Davenport, there's just an easy game that's going to be an easy win. Teams knew that they were going to have to compete and that it could go either way.
We saw that many games you had the lead or were right there at the half, and teams kind of wore you down a little bit, so that means you didn't have the depth you wanted. Mm-hmm. What did you do in the offseason to increase that depth?
So in the offseason, we brought in some more guards. I brought in all guards in our freshman class, and then also I had a mid-year transfer that she came in December. She won't be eligible to play until this December, but I brought in another post player. So we brought in some weapons that we knew that could help us, and also the way that we wanted to play, the fast-paced game that we want to. We brought in a bunch of guards that are capable of playing that way, and that could like create for themselves.
How are the girls clicking? Again, when you bring in new bodies, there's always that uncertainty of how they're going to mesh personality-wise.
This preseason, they really bonded together. They took preseason seriously. They hung out with each other a lot. They did a lot of like escape room things, a lot of things that they'll do together as a team when they have to figure out things. So I noticed every week I could tell that the team was getting closer and closer and closer. And then just now, once the season started, it's just amazing just watching them together. And they're always laughing and they're clicking together. So it's a good thing to see.
Coach Shonda Sanders, our women's basketball coach, joining us right now. Coach, you had a great chance to get an evaluation earlier this week. This Sunday you played at Division I Central Michigan, and you guys actually led at the half 39-35 before falling 75-61. You had to see a lot of things you liked there.
Yes, there was a lot. I think we had a lot of nervousness starting the game, but even then I thought when we started, our girls was nervous and we were still winning. And there were just little things. And one thing that we knew going into there, they had 2 6'5" post players. So I was telling our girls going into that game, like, boxing out is going to be huge. Like, they're an O-board team. Their returning guard had 80 O-boards last year. So we knew that. And then at halftime, I had to tell her, they had 16 O-boards at halftime. And I kind of told our girls in the locker room, I said, look, the first team to get 40 rebounds is who's going to win this game. And then at the end of the game, they had 51 and we had 35. So that was the difference between right there, that us missing that's 5 extra rebounds for them. That's 10 extra points right there where we could have had. So it was a lot to learn from, but it helped us to go into this week to fix little things.
Lily Gustafson got a lot of recognition last year in her sophomore year. Big expectations for her this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she puts in the work. She put in the work in the offseason last year, and then this year she even put in more work, and I could definitely tell by watching her with how she came in body-wise, how she came in just condition-wise, and just even with she's kind of developing a 15-foot shot now, so just to expand her game some. So I'm very excited to see what she do this year.
Mary Lytle also is a big part of your outside game.
Yes, she did. She put in a lot of work as well. Mary has always been a good fit player for us, and I think with me and Mary, it was us getting to know each other, me learning her game, her learning my style. But once we started to click together last year and her going into the summer, she kind of took the rings of it. She's one of the ones that's a leader by example. She don't talk a lot, but with just what she does in the weight room, what she does in conditioning, the work she put in outside of basketball, our girls look up to that. So she's a good leader for them for a senior.
All right, J.C. Walker came off the bench and scored 14 for you against CMU. That's pretty impressive.
She's one I think that's going to be a surprise. She made a huge jump, I just could tell, from last year to this year. And even from her freshman year last year to her sophomore year, J.C. was one that told me when she came in, she didn't know what position she was. So last year, with my first year with her, that was us trying to find, are you a guard, are you a post player? And we kind of found that area for her. She's a stretch forward player for us. She's not a guard, but she's also not a back to the basket post. But she fits that because she can guard a guard. She can guard a post player. She can take post players off the dribble, and then she could post up smaller guards. So she's kind of finding her role now.
Well, as we said, you took a big challenge on taking on CMU in that exhibition game earlier this week. You've got an even bigger challenge on your hands. Tomorrow you go to East Lansing and play Michigan State's women's basketball team, which is a fine program there.
Yes, and the reason for this, our girls, we want to be the best. We want to be the best in the country. We want to be the best in our conference. So I tell our girls to do that, we have to play the best. And I think these two teams that we play with Central and Michigan State is going to help us when we go into our non-conference. I mean, we have the defending national champions, Ashland, coming in. We got to go to Drury. We got to play Truman. We play Wash. We play Northwood. We play, of course, we got Grand Valley that's in our conference. We have Ferris State. So we play a lot of big names. And I made our non-conference and exhibition games hard to prepare us and to show our girls, like, hey, if we want to be the best, this is what it takes to be the best. We are going to play the best players.
And Shonda, you and I both wanted to send our wishes out to Ken Clemens. He's ailing. We're thinking of you, Ken.
Yes, Ken, we're thinking of you. We missed you. We definitely missed you on the sidelines at CMU game.
Coach Sanders, good luck tomorrow, and best of luck. We'll keep close eye on you all season long.
All right, thank you.
Coach Shonda Sanders, the women's basketball program. We'll take a break, come back with some players from the football team. Stay with us here. The Davenport Coach Show continues here live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Davenport down 21-16. 4th and goal from the 10. Back to pass Whitaker. He's stepping up. He's looking. He's run to the 5, to the 1. Touchdown, Davenport! Touchdown, Davenport! Jason Whitaker ran it in, and the Panthers have the lead with 11 seconds to go. Jason Whitaker with the biggest play in his Panther career, and DU takes the lead. And Jason Whitaker joins us right now here after that play, and you probably heard that a few times or watched it a few times, Jason, but I don't think you're going to get tired of seeing that one for a while.
Yeah, that was definitely probably top 3, most memorable moments for sure.
Well, I'm going to ask you, I asked Sparky about this, 10 yards is a long way to go, and 10 yards at the goal line is even tougher with all the congestion there. When you took off, did it ever run through your mind split second there, I better make it or else?
Yeah, adrenaline was kind of kicking in at that point. I just remember taking off, and I heard one of the fans just have just a huge, a really loud scream. I heard a scream, and then I just kind of dove in the end zone. So it was wild play, and just glad I got in.
We talked with Sparky in the first part of the show about that final drive, and as he said, you hit 5 different receivers to get down to that situation. It all seemed to come together perfectly, having to go 92 yards in 99 seconds.
Yeah, I think that just shows our preparation. We practice 2 minutes every day. Coaches us, Coach Russell calling the right plays, get us in the best position to score. And then, O-line blocking, and then our wide receivers just, making plays, Preston with that 4th down catch, kept us alive. Meach with those couple catches. It really was a team win.
Outside of that last run, you've been running the football more this year, much more than last year. Is that by design, or has it just happened that way?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think, this offseason, one of the things I wanted to work on with Coach Brock, our strength coach, was, getting faster, getting more elusive in the pocket, and I think, he's really helped me with that. And then Coach Russell's, installed a couple, drawn up QB run plays that I'm starting to feel more comfortable with. So yeah, I think really comes down to, whatever the defense gives us, and just making it happen.
You're a graduate student, getting your master's in education, right?
Switch to marketing, actually.
Switch to marketing, that's right. Okay, switch to marketing with that. What do you hope to do with that marketing degree once your Davenport and your football days are finished?
Yeah, haven't really, thought about that too much. I definitely want to still be involved in sports. I'd love to coach after I'm done. Maybe do some sports marketing stuff. Not really sure.
If you did coach, do you want to coach at the high school or college level, or doesn't it matter really?
I don't think when I've thought about it in my head, it's been college. I think it would be cool to work with high school kids. But yeah, I think college was such an impactful time for me. I would love to, give back to the younger generation, in that time.
Well, there's a Division II college All-American coaching at your high school alma mater right now, Jason Vanderlaan,
yes,
who's
sir.
doing a heck of a job up there. I don't know if you have
Absolutely.
any contact with him at all during the season, but he's doing a heck of a job with that. Let's talk a little bit about the game this week against Ferris. Records identical for Davenport from a year ago. How is this team different and more prepared for this challenge than a year ago?
Yeah. I think we've just been there before. I think the maturity on this team is, it's not a shock for us. I think last year was so exciting, having, being in those kind of waters. And so I think our maturity, our level of preparation has definitely gone up. And then our talent. Coach Sparky did a great job of, reloading this year. Obviously, there's a lot of players that, from last year that, you can't replace. But, as far as the talent goes, I think we're just as talented, if not more, than last year.
Yeah, and how those newcomers on defense, the way they've stepped in the defensive backfield especially.
Oh, man.
We're going to talk with one of your DBs right here, Chris Thompson,
Absolutely.
just a second. But, hey, Jason, great job. Best of luck. We look forward to calling an exciting win, hopefully this Saturday again. So go back and enjoy some of that Uccello's food.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Jason Whitaker, our special guest. We will take a quick timeout. We'll come back with another member of this team, Chris Thompson, defensive backfield from California. Stay with us on the Davenport Coaches Show. Our next guest joins us here on the Davenport Coaches Show. As an announcer, you try your hardest to make the players look and sound good. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you don't. But every once in a great while, a very great while, the player can make the announcer look good. This young man with us right here did just that Saturday.
Appreciate it.
Crowd trying to exhort the defense. Well, we called for a turnover last time. We got it. Can we do it again? How about an interception? Our league-leading 14th it would be if we can pick one off. McKenzie to pass in the pocket. He's stepping up. He throws it long over the middle, and it's intercepted by Davenport. 45-40, 35-30, to the 25-20, down to the 20-yard line, and he breaks a tackle, reverses his field, inside the 20, and he's brought down right there. With the interception, Chris Thompson, his third of the season. Bill, if I'd known all I had to do was ask for it, I would have asked for it earlier. And Chris Thompson joins us right now, the man who delivers on request. You asked for him to. Chris, again, a big play in that game. The offense, people were talking about it. But I loved your return there. You refused to go down. For a while, I thought you were going to house it. Tell us about that play, what you remember about it. Just walk us through that big play there.
We had to make a play. It was fourth quarter, and felt like that was our best opportunity. We were on defense. They're behind the 50. They threw the ball, gave us a chance, and we took advantage of it. And as I returned, I tried to score after I broke the tackle, but I ran out of gas, and it was time for me to go down.
Chris, you're a long way from home, Bakersfield, California. You played for Bakersfield College last year. Now, I lived out in Southern California a little bit. I was very familiar with how good the quality of football, community college level was out there in Southern California. And you were part of that with Bakersfield. Tell us about the game and Bakersfield College that you went to, and what was that like?
For going to junior college, Bakersfield College was a great opportunity. We had good coaches, good competition, and it was a lot of ballers.
You went to Ridgeview High School back in Southern California. What kind of football quality program was Ridgeview when you were there?
When I was there, we had some ballers. We went JUCO. A couple of our guys went D1 after. We had some great talent.
So how did you find out about Davenport? How were you contacted, and what drew you here eventually to come here and play?
So it was crazy. I found this school within 3 days. I was supposed to go to Thompson University. I guess my transcript didn't go through due to my JUCO story, and grateful to be here.
Which coach was most instrumental in getting you to come here?
I found Coach Mack. And it was a player from the team last year. Got in touch with him, and we made it happen.
All right. Think back to your days coming up at high school and Bakersfield College. Was there one coach in particular that really was instrumental in your development as a player or maybe as a person?
Person that helped me develop as a player in person, I'll say it was two people. One was Coach Will. He was my JV football coach. He was really inspiring. He was really tough on us and kept us all going. And then the other one is Coach Moya. He had a son that played there.
Your high school coach?
Yeah, high school coach. They're
okay.
both. And he was kind of like a great guidance coach. He let us know when we were messing up as a man or just as a player. He always put us on a good game.
Chris, you're a long way from home. That means family and friends aren't just around the corner to come out and watch you play. Yeah. How are you dealing with that? Because that's got to be tough at times.
Yeah, my mom, my uncle, they watch it off Flow Sports, so that's how they, keep in touch with me.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. And she's coming to this game.
She's coming Saturday?
Yeah, she's coming to this game.
That's the first time she see you play with Davenport?
Yeah, first time, really in Michigan as well, so it'll be nice. And for that, they just tune in, just call me, give me advice after the game and stuff.
You got gloves and hats for them?
Nah.
Ice scrapers? Oh, that'll be great to get a chance to see. You're majoring in sport management, Chris. What are you thinking about doing after your Davenport days are done? What would you like to do?
My ultimate dream job is to be a trainer or just a football coach for like a college team. And doing sports management, I feel like that helped me, learn the aspects of all the sports management stuff.
What do you do for your own personal enjoyment when you're not playing football, not in class or working on class? What do you do for your own fun?
I played a video game. I tried to read a book, but it didn't really help out, so just video games with my boys.
Who's the how many you in your apartment?
Yeah.
Okay, how many guys?
3.
Who's the best video game player?
I would say it was me before I retired, but most definitely it was me.
That is so consistent. Whenever I ask players who's the best video player, they always say themselves. Every single time they do that. They're your closest friends? Are they your roommates? Tell us who your roommates are.
Dennis Smith and then Kareem Miles.
All right, fantastic. Well, it's great having you here, Chris. We're great to have you. I'm looking forward. I hope you get a chance to say hi to your mom when she comes.
Okay.
So keep up the great work. You've got 3 interceptions right now, tied for the team league, and 14 for a squad is the best in the GLIAC and one of the top in the nation. Keep working, Chris.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll take a break. Come back. Coach Sparky will join us. We'll talk about the big game Saturday against Ferris State here on the Davenport Coaches Show. And our final segment coming up, the Davenport Coaches Show. And Davenport Ferris State this Saturday at 12 noon. And, Coach, I know announcers tend to lean towards hyperbole, but I don't have a problem calling this the biggest game in program history.
It seems like we have that every week, doesn't it?
This week, again, you come in, the regional rankings came out this week. You're number 6 in the Super Region 3. No question it is the toughest region in the country in Division II.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's somewhat unfair. When you take a look at that list, and obviously on that list you have Ferris at 8, us there at 6, and I mean, how could Ferris even possibly be at 8? Knowing what their body of work is. They've only lost to the number 3 team in the country in Division I FCS, and the number 2 team in the country in Division II Grand Valley, which was the GLIAC champions from last year. So it goes to show you how tough the region is, and how important this game, that we have set to kick off on Saturday.
You mentioned that they took on FCS Montana,
Yeah.
Division I foe, and gave them all they wanted. And that, I know coaches are always cringe when I say, can you gain from a loss? But I got to think when they came back from that they felt that they could play with anybody in the country. Not that they needed a reminder of that, but that was another reminder.
Well, Tony does a really good job of, I've obviously been able to watch the video from, their outing out there. And, man, everyone in the GLIAC was rooting for them to win that game, and quite frankly, they could have, okay? But to the credit of Montana, such a class, organization there, and they do it right there. And that place was packed and it was loud, and for the Bulldogs to go out there and hold their own and truly have a chance to win it says a lot about what he's done, as a coach. I've had the fortunes to work with him and see how he operates, and I wasn't surprised, when I saw it when they scheduled that game, and for them to go out there to perform the way that they did. So, once again, he's doing a great job with another good group of football players. And the Grand Valley game, they lost and got behind super early.
35-0 and got back within 7.
Well, the deal with that game is you can probably take it and play it the exact same way, and the Ferris kids could make a play, and it wouldn't be that type of game. It was that close. It was bang-bang plays. To the credit of Grand Valley, they made plays. And one of the things that Tony does a really good job of is putting kids in positions to have success and put them in space to make plays. And for one of the few times in his career, they just didn't make the plays when they had a chance to make the plays. They were right there. There was no one busted clean, free, running around. So they're in position, but the team that they were playing, which was the GLIAC defending champions, happened to make some plays. And, that's what happens when you have two very talented, teams, getting after it.
Finally, defensively, you've got the three-headed monster at quarterback, Malik Mitchell, Carson Gulker, and Trinidad Chambliss. Those guys can run the ball. They can also throw the ball. And so they are truly dual threats, and they will utilize them anywhere on the field to run or throw.
You know, we don't look at him as, you know, three-headed monster. We just look at him as one. We look at it as the quarterback position. And, you know, when we sat down and, you know, our defensive coordinator is very familiar with the system. You know, you can't go into a game just saying, okay, we're going to game plan Trinidad. You know, we're going to game plan Malik. We're going to game plan, you know, Gawker. You can't do that because there's not enough things, enough time in the day. You know, you just got to go out there and defend Tony and Nisa's offense, okay, and understand that, you know, Tony wants to run the football. You know, all champions want to do that. They want to run the football and play great defense. And just because he happens to have 3 kids back there pulling a trigger, you know, you can't get caught up into who does what the best. You know, you can't do that to young people. You just have to let them go out there, play freely, execute your scheme, and in hopes that, you know, you can make a few plays. And that's what we need to do. And one of the unsung heroes to the success of Tony there at you know, Ferris is, you know, Hodges. Hodges has done such a great job over there, man. And, you know, here's a guy that I don't know how he hasn't gotten picked up by a Division I school to go and be a defensive coordinator. You know, he gets his kids in position to play, and I've watched him evolve, man, because I worked up there and I've watched him evolve. He's doing some different things. He's a smart guy. You know, he gets his guys to play with great effort and energy. And, you know, that's the reason why, you know, Tony and Hodge are doing so well, because they're getting kids to play well in big games and at big times.
All right, Coach. Well, we run out of time. We could go another half hour talking about the game, but it's time. It's almost time to just get out there and do it. So I know your guys will be ready Saturday.
Spot the ball, man.
Spot the ball is the mantra here for the Davenport football program. That'll wrap it up here. Thanks to our special guests, Chris Thompson and Jason Whitaker from the football team, Coach Shonda Sanders from the women's basketball team. So for Sparky McEwen, I'm Rick Berkey. Don't forget, 12 noon, Saturday, Davenport, Ferris State, biggest game in program history. Be there. Go Panthers.